everyone! How is everyone doing this week? Brandi, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. As I say that, my eye has decided to have a moment, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Well, that's good.
I got something in my eye. We'll see how long
Blink
this lasts.
away the pain. Yeah, contacts for the win. Well, I'll tell you what. I think we either have ghosts or we might have a special guest because we are not alone on this stream.
I think we have a special guest.
Well, shall we introduce her?
I think we shall.
Hello, Bree.
Hello, Katie and Brandi. I'm so excited.
Well, we are so excited to have you.
Yes.
Also,
it's gonna be a blast.
I have to do a little shout out here. Where'd it go? How do I highlight a person? I can't. No, that's me.
Hey.
Now it's just me. Great.
Things are going crazy this week.
I don't know how to highlight you. She has hair loopies, guys.
She has hair loopies. She's made hair loopies.
I had to.
She's come to play.
This is the 10th episode and neither of you have dressed up. I realize you have busy schedules and everything, but come on, you can at least scrounge.
I don't know why you put us on blast. I don't know why you guys put us on blast.
Wait, I do. I have. Where'd it go? I have Avatar pants.
Nice.
Okay, you get a pass. You get a pass.
All right.
That's the highest my leg will go.
I'll strive to do better. How about that, Brie?
Thank you. I expect a full Appa cosplay in the near future.
All right. Appa hoodie coming up.
We got Rapunzel on here, which found out very cool. Dante Bosco, who does the voice of Prince Zuko, actually retweeted her tweet, I believe, and said, Appa, I want to make sure that I get this right because I got a message on Facebook and I was like, oh, now this is cool. So I have to make sure that I get this right because they started a new Avatar podcast, which I like to think we inspired a little bit.
Yeah. It was, never mind that it was probably already in the works and they were figuring out all the logistics. Let's not, we totally brought this into existence.
Exactly.
You manifested this.
We sure did.
Yes. Well, the voice of Zuko and the voice of Korra are doing this podcast for Avatar now where they're going through the episodes and talking about it and going through details. It's like, And
do they do fan theories is the question.
I don't know. Yeah, but
I don't think so.
I feel like you have a corner on that market.
Perhaps. But they also just bring other people on, so the creators of the show, and they're gonna have a couple of other voice actors.
You can get there totally eventually. I
got resources.
I love how positive you are, Brie. I love how positive you are.
Hey,
we get in for a couple of the voice actors.
Podcast. You could manifest anything.
This is true. We have the power. You're totally right.
Well, Rapunzel totally got the power for Dante to respond because apparently in the podcast we're talking, and Appa is a bison manatee. That's the cross of the animal.
That's completely out of left field. I was not expecting that.
Rapunzel, we're 10 episodes ahead of them, so we good. But apparently when they started talking about the episode, they're like, Appa is a bison manatee mix. Just like Momo is a lemur bat kind of mix.
I suppose. I don't know. How have we gone when did Avatar come out? 2005?
5, 6, yeah.
Yeah, have we gone 16 years?
Well, apparently Dante didn't know that this was the thing.
We've always been flying bison. He's a flying bison.
I never really questioned what Appa was mixed with.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
I just thought he was like Bosco. It's just a bear. It's just a flying bison.
I got a theory about Bosco the bear.
Ooh, you got a theory for everything. They're calling it Animal Crossing. I'm gonna have to listen to this now. That'll be my project for the morning. Also, Jacob Archer Barton, hello. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Yes, everyone's returned to the cult, except remember, didn't we have someone join and they're like, I'm going to watch the show now, and we haven't seen them since.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
We scare
Do
them
you think
away.
he was okay?
I like to think that, he watched the whole series and he was like, this is pretty cool. And then that was it. So
Yep.
like my greatest hope is that the person did watch the whole series. They enjoyed it. They just were like, those ladies were kind of weird, and I would have to agree. But you know what? If we're
Which
not your
episode
brand,
was
that's fine. It was the one before we went on break. So
Is that
Oh, maybe the break.
it wasn't Kyoshi.
No.
Was it the winter solstice?
I think it was the winter solstice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like,
Yeah, I
hello,
think
genocide.
It's like, oh, you guys aren't talking about the movie. You guys are talking about the show. And he's like, I'm gonna leave. I'm so sorry we don't remember your name. If you're out there,
Hopefully you watched
Say
the
hello.
replay.
Come back.
Yeah.
We also have Brightest Day here. Appa was a hippo mixed with Hero. Appa ex machina them out of some sticky situations.
He really
He
did.
did. And I feel he could have gotten them out of the situation they're about to get in this episode, though. Just
Oh,
saying.
you know it. You know it.
Just saying.
Oh, stop the haterade, people.
Literally,
No, I'm
did
here
you-
for more Appa.
the post that I made about this episode, or actually even the caption in the YouTube comments, basically runs off of, could this be one of the worst Avatar episodes, or is Katie just angry for no reason, sort of a thing?
It's not the worst. It's not the worst. I don't know what the worst is. I don't think that there is a worst. But this is one of my favorite episodes growing up.
Oh no.
I don't even
watched-
think I knew that.
I rewatched it so many freaking times. For those of you who don't know, because I feel like it's just going to go. Bree and I are sisters.
We're
And
we're
Bree,
related.
yes.
I'm sorry if this ends up being 3 hours. I'm so sorry.
But Bree
I have to go to
attest-
work in the morning.
Bree can attest that we have rewatched The Great Divide.
And
So many times.
Secret Tunnel. The
And
Cave
Secret
of Two
Tunnel.
Lovers.
But
Yeah,
Bree and I,
that
Bree
one
and I
was
have
one of my
discussed this
favorites.
before. So season
It's
2
not
is,
a bad
is,
episode. Oh,
is my absolute favorite out of all the seasons. And we have rewatched The Great Divide so many times that Brianna, on multiple occasions, has said that
I
The Great Divide
thought
is in
it was
season
in
2
season 2.
because that's all I rewatch is season 2. If I'm not rewatching those series in like its entirety, I just watch random episodes from season 2 and The Great Divide. So
Nice. Oh, this is gonna be a good one then. Like, just like Tim Possible says, he got that fire. That's exactly what this is gonna be. It's either gonna be a lit or it's going to devolve into a raging fire.
we may break some relationships at the end of this. Probably not. I don't think we're that petty, but we're gonna try.
Also, we got Timon FLP. I don't think I've seen this name before. If not, if this is
Welcome.
your first time, welcome. If you're first time commenting, welcome again. If you're a returning person, I'm sorry. I have the worst memory. But you know, we got a ton of people watching right now. So do you guys want to just jump right on into the episode?
Yes, let's go. I am
Let's
curious.
do it. I'm ready.
curious.
So
Let's go.
we actually, you know what? We have to talk about the Netflix description. I almost forgot about it. Almost forgot about it.
How can we almost break protocol? What are we doing?
Well,
It might
it
be
is.
me. I don't know.
Yeah,
You are the
We'll
agent
have
of
to
chaos.
further
we have a
test that
special
theory.
guest here.
I just dropped my phone.
Timon is new here. Welcome.
Nice.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, Keely Chow. Hello to everyone who's hopping on. This is gonna be awesome, guys. Because we get to talk about every episode how awful Netflix's descriptions are for these episodes. This one, you know, it's The Great Divide. I don't expect much from it. And so I didn't expect much from the description, which is, quote, arriving at a giant gorge, Amatang and his friends encounter two feuding refugee groups fighting over the right to cross the abyss. I mean, it's not like they're fighting over who's going... They're both going to cross over the abyss. Which isn't much of an abyss. It's a divide. It has walls and that's it.
Again,
I just want to
feel
know
like
why Netflix thought gorge instead of calling it, I don't know, a canyon like they do in the episode.
Yes! There's all these other words for divide.
I think that this description really leads to the theory of they really do just watch like the first couple of minutes of the episode. Like,
no, they don't
it's
even
good
watch
enough.
it. They just probably read the synopsis on the wikis. Like the
Yeah,
cliff notes
Maybe
it,
that's
you
what
know?
we should start doing, is reading the synopsis off the wikis. But I feel like that's going to be multiple paragraphs.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great screen grab, by the way.
Thank you. It's a little fuzzy, but we're making it work. So, but Brandi, well, now that I have this pulled up, what is your description?
Here we go.
Well, we can do Bree. Think of something of a description
I
if you'd
didn't
like.
come prepared. Oh no.
Oh,
That's
no.
the best part. That's the best
Oh
part.
Pop quiz.
no. I need
Pop
to think about
quiz.
this at least like 2 days in advance.
Oh no! Next episode.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll
Alright,
email
alright.
you it later.
Yeah. I want 500 words in the morning, single spaced.
Yeah.
The team helps.
Times New Roman? Times New
Times
Roman?
New Roman. You know
Okay,
me, girl.
cool.
You
There
know
you go.
me, girl. All right. Here's my description. The team helps two. Am I having microphone issues again, or can you hear me?
We
No,
can
I
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
You can still hear me, but I can't hear you. Oh, hey, I'm back. I may have.
I
curse
don't know
today, guys.
why. I think it's the ghosts.
I may have a bit of a curse going on. I don't know. We'll see. The team helps two feuding refugee groups cross the Great Divide on foot. Katara and Sokka quickly pick opposing sides, again, I can't read. While Aang struggles to find a way to make peace between the groups.
That's so much better.
I mean,
Say it every
Infinitely
week. That's so
better.
much better.
Infinitely better.
You
I mean,
actually
that's what
covered the
happens.
entire episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Also, shout out to Orville Nation and PJ. PJ should be joining us here shortly. Sent out the link on Twitter, so we got a lot more people to join our cult stream.
Nice.
We're so happy to have you all here.
Now, the episode does start with already a divide, which I think is one of the reasons why I hate this episode. It's just like smack you in the face with the name, The Great Divide. And we see tarp or no tarp as far as putting up the tent goes, collection of firewood, how that goes. Honestly, being siblings, I imagine you guys have had arguments like this before.
Maybe not about a tent, but definitely about a dishwasher.
And
Like,
Oh,
don't get started on
seemed
Brie
like
with
it
the
was
dishwasher.
always between me and our younger brother. Like we
Aw.
would bicker like that. But no
Yeah,
matter
I could see that.
but we're still like buddy. Like we'll bicker
there you
and
go.
then like 2 minutes later it's like, why did we even do that? Who knows?
Yeah,
You want to go play some video games? Let's go play some video games, dude.
exactly.
But
Listen.
when I was watching this and I seen this argument, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm Katara. Because I can't even
Yeah.
think of a witty comeback.
Yeah. Well, are you guys tarpers or no tarpers?
I do like myself a good blanket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm like, Qatar, you're a freaking waterbender. If it rains, it doesn't matter if your stuff gets wet. Y'all just hide underneath Appa in his furry little suit and you just waterbend it away. You're good.
I mean, true. Like, I'm sure Aang and Katara know how to pull the water out of everything combined between the two of them. I'm
Yeah.
sure campsite would be dry in no time.
I think with Katara, it's like the principle of the matter. Like, why wouldn't you, just in case? Like, and plus, like, I think that she's also like very prim and proper and a perfectionist. And so, like, why wouldn't you just go ahead and put it up? Like, I don't know. Like, I could see why they decided that this was the argument that they were going to have. And then Aang just like steps in and is just like, "Hey, how about we just switch jobs?" But like,
Yeah.
it works with the firewood, but switching jobs still doesn't give Sokka his blanket. So
Yes.
I don't really.
And I'm saying blankets are amazing.
Although, with the way Appa probably would shed, y'all could just knit yourself a new blanket every day. Like, oh, the allergies that would come from Appa. Also, who do we hashtag to get Brandi hired to rewrite the official synopsis? Honestly, I'm pretty sure Netflix would be very confused if we just had hashtag Brandi rewrites Avatar at Netflix on Twitter.
I mean,
Hey, you know what? If you wanna try, like, I'm down for it,
I
guys.
was
Let's
just
go.
say, I'm sure on Twitter they're very responsive to most hashtags.
Oh, absolutely. Dishwasher, the most divisive appliance ever.
It
That
really
and the
is.
lights.
It is.
Do not get her started on her dishwasher, guys.
No, if anybody
it'll-
else does it in the house, I reload it.
Yeah, and then her mom walks through and she's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "He didn't load it right, so I gotta redo it."
I don't know. It really bothers me unless it's loaded correctly.
So now you understand why it bothers Katara that the tarp isn't being put up, and Sokka's just like I feel like you can understand this sibling rivalry. I cannot talk today, guys.
It's okay. As long as you don't smell toast, it's okay.
Smile for us.
Yeah, lift those hands up above your head.
I think she's good.
And also, who else is great? Jacob Archer Barton for sharing this on Twitter. If you guys don't mind, hit that like button, comment, all the cliches of streamers that say that, but it really does help. We have a fan base, so do the thing. As Varric says, do the thing. Also, the Nerdy Viking. Hello, yeah, it's pretty hot. It looks pretty hot to need an extra blanket. The color scheme makes me think it was a little toastier out there. Like, is this like a desert kind of? Maybe like the Grand Canyon?
It could, but it's also still like wintertime. And just because it is like a canyon, like the temperature drops pretty quickly too at night. So
true.
I can see what Sokka's talking about right now.
But if we're also saying it's still like winter season, and Sokka says that it's the dry season, wouldn't there still be a little bit of like moisture in the air or something to where
if only we had a meteorologist with us.
I know, that's why I'm like, I don't know if I'm talking out of my butt right now. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
It totally does, because see, in the winter we have I'm so sorry for anyone who's new to this and doesn't understand. I'm a meteorologist, actually. So
it's not her first name.
Yes, no, although that I could legally change it. When in the cold season, when you have colder air, it's like a small sponge. And in the summer, it's a lot of warm air, so it's like a large sponge. Warm air can hold a lot more water. And so naturally, when it gets colder outside, you tend to have less water vapor in the atmosphere. So it technically would be a dry season. And, also looking at the clouds in this episode, there's just a few cumulus out there, mostly sunny skies, pretty much going to be a clear night, so you don't have to worry about the rain. And also that means that the temperatures are going to fall dramatically because it doesn't keep the heat in with the clouds. So I would go for the extra blanket.
Did we just get two fandom forecasts this week?
I think we might have.
I think we did.
This is one of the things where if I get started on the weather and TV, I don't stop.
I mean, we all have to nitpick our favorite shows some way. Brandi does it with like the storytelling and like the writing and all like the technical aspects. And Katie, you hit us with those weather facts, and I thank you for that.
It's my only flex. So thank you for not being annoyed with it.
No, I'm here for it all the time. I was actually talking about all of my Met friends from college.
I was gonna say, I've never been surrounded by a person that knows a lot of meteorologists, and I don't think I ever would have expected that to have been Brandi.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I miss all my Mets. So nerdy. I love them all so much.
See, we like normal people. Like a meteorology community. You're a normie. Someone who doesn't panic when they see a little bit of a dust devil in a field. It's just like, all right, it's the Midwest, and keeps walking, and doesn't have to microanalyze everything. It's nice to have normal friends.
I've never been called normal in my entire life.
Okay, good. So we're in the same boat.
Well, it's all about perspective, Brandi.
All right.
Now, this is a good point. Maybe Katara is worried that her hair would get wet and would get frizzy because you can't get the frizz out of hair. So, I mean, Brie, if you want to run an experiment, just like grab some water, spritz it on, and then as the show goes on.
You're asking the wrong sister. That's a Brandi experiment.
Oh goodness. No, trust me, the hair struggles are real at this point. I'm gonna either go curly or straight on air, and there's no transition period in between. So we'll see how it goes. Also, something that I love to see how it went was Momo versus Appa.
That screen cap is amazing.
Check out
It's
his
the
wings.
only high def one I could find.
Momo's face too.
He's just come on. He's dead. His soul left his body. And Appa's just staring like, dude, do you even lift? No, but this is the episode where we learned that Appa has 5 stomachs.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I think last week I said that he had 6 stomachs. I'm so sorry.
Fake
I was
fan.
one off.
Fake fan.
Give me your fan card.
I'll mail it to you. You can take a hole out of it. That's all right.
I gotta make those. I pulled that on my brother so much. Oh my goodness. He would have died if he ate the whole melon. Appa was saving him. It's like that one friend who gets the bottomless margaritas, and then you're just like, hun, no.
Hey, buddy, we nope. Nope.
Choices.
We're gonna switch this out for water.
Mm-hmm. See, the mom
maybe
is
splash a little lime juice in it. Trick them.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, but I love this scene. This is probably my favorite part of the episode, if we're being honest.
Is it because you learned the fun fact that Appa has 5 stomachs?
It probably is.
Why are you hating on this episode, guys? Why are you hating on this episode?
Because it's very poorly made. It's
I need to know. I need to know. Like, why do you? Because I have like very clear reasons why I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that like the whole fandom is against me right now, and this is like the most hated.
No,
I'm sure you have
people that like it.
I know,
I've
but like
seen a few like video essays where people were like, "It's actually not that bad, guys."
Okay, well, I'm just saying like I'm not saying like I'm the only one out there, but I'm just saying the majority of the fandom is like this episode sucks. Like I was even reading some stuff on Reddit, and they were just like, what episode? Like they were pulling the same joke that they do with the movie, and I was like, okay, guys,
That's a little hard.
That's not too far off.
I think that's one of the reasons why I don't like it. Is they're all just irrational, loudmouth jerks.
I can understand that argument. The people in the group are very like, but like I've seen a lot of people. Hey, you know what? I bring the words. I do. A lot of people are like, well, even Katara Sokka ain't act out of character, and blah 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 blah.
See, I actually have like it's not a theory, but it's just like maybe a reason as to why they kind of act a little out of character. When I was looking at the character design of the tribes, I noticed they were a little bit more like outside of like the Avatar normal spectrum, and they looked a little bit more anime-y. And then I noticed like the characterisms and like the mannerisms of like everybody in the game and the episode was a little bit more like anime-y, not the normal like cartoony Avatar you see. So that might be why people might not like it, because I was reading on the wiki, and the animation studio that did this episode was because there was 2 animation studios, and the second one only did like 19 out of like the 61 episodes that Avatar has, and they actually heavily influenced like the flashback scenes on a certain Japanese anime artist.
Yeah.
So I feel like they kind of played that up, and they just had a lot more anime influences into this episode, and that might be why people might not like it so much. It kind of explains the characterisms and everything.
That's interesting. And yeah, like the animation studio did like heavily influence like the different designs between like the Jinwei, not the Jinwei, but
the flashbacks.
The Ganjin and the Janes.
Yes.
I was like, what is the name of this tribe? They did like heavily influence the different art style there. And then like even like the story that Aang says at the end. But like the argument of Katara and Sokka acting out of character, I don't understand, because I don't think that they do act out of character. Like they have their like little sibling squabble at the top of the episode, and we've seen them have these squabbles before. So like, why wouldn't it? And then Aang kind of like puts it aside, and then like they're at the edge of the Great Divide, and Katara's like, "Wow, I could just look at it forever," and Sokka's like, "Okay, let's keep going," and like Sokka is very clearly like, "Okay, let's just keep going."
Yes.
Let's just keep on flying.
Yeah, pretty much. And so
I have to point this out. Sorry to interrupt. Side tangent briefly. This episode is the lowest strength of all the Avatar episodes on IMDb.
I know.
When the creators got the feedback on this, by season 3, if anyone hasn't watched ahead, season 3 has this episode called The Ember Island Players. And they basically recap book 1 in the most comically over-exaggerated way. And they mention it in The Ember Island Players because I have it pulled up here. They literally go, "Hey guys, look, this is the Great Divide."
It's the Great Divide.
And I'll see if it'll actually play the audio here.
No. Crickets.
I guess we could voice act it.
It's the Great Divide.
It fills me with so much hope.
It's just,
I think that's what the Katara says. I don't remember.
Beautiful. I was like, "Ooh, it's the Great Divide. Ooh, it's beautiful. Let's just keep on flying." They specifically wrote that in because of how this episode was received.
Exactly, and I don't understand why it was received so poorly, because I don't understand, because I like it. Like this is in between some heavy episodes too. Like we just dealt with Jet and all of Jet's jetness.
What's the next episode?
It's the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the storm, it's the Blue Spirit.
True, we got some hard hitters.
And so this is like almost perfectly placed in between some very heavy, either dealing with crazy ideas of, wiping out a whole village just to get rid of the enemy, or learning about backstories and all this story building and stuff like this. Like, we need a break. The children need a break. When I was little and I watched this, I needed a break. And this was the break that I got. And I think that it's just like, I think that it's really good. Mm-hmm. And like, even, yes, these two groups, they're over the top, they're bickering, they're like, I hate you just because I hate you. And the other person, like, I hate you just because I hate you. Like, this whole thing. And it's just, I think it's just great. And I don't usually like filler episodes in like any other series, because I'm like, I just want the story. But like Avatar is one of those series where I do like the filler episodes. This is 100% a filler episode. And it's still done really great. And I don't know why everybody hates it.
I think, for me at least, the reason I don't like it is because of this picture, actually. I always, as a kid, seemed to tune in at this exact point whenever I would be like, "Oh, hey, look, Avatar on the TV guide." Click on it, and then it starts out here, and it just knows that my attitude went straight down the drain, because it was so overplayed compared to all the other episodes.
It was extremely overplayed, and I think there's a reason why it's overplayed, is that if you were to overplay or even replay some of the other episodes and you were the first time viewer, you would be completely lost. But this one, you can just watch it offhand and be like, "Oh, okay, that was kind of kooky. Maybe I'll check out the rest of it." And I think that's why it was kind of like put on blast over and over and over again. But that's just like my own understanding of why somebody would want to do it.
Oh, definitely.
That's completely irrelevant, because it's still a good episode.
Timon, I think I'm saying Timon correctly. You don't see that with creators much any days. Nowadays, they just mock the people that don't like it, rather than just be like, "Okay, listen, people don't like it. Let's just we can mix it in. People like it, people don't like it. We might as well bring it back for a sec."
And I think that's really great.
I don't think I'd have ever thought of it like that, Brandi, where it's like you have so many story-driven episodes in this first season that you can't really rerun those as easy as you can this filler episode.
For sure. Definitely. And I think another episode that kind of gets reran a lot is Tales of Ba Sing Se, and like even though that is very heavy emotionally and different things, but it's still just like a nice kind of filler episode that somebody who hasn't watched the series before can just kind of, oh, this is on, all right, I'll check it out, and then maybe you'll get a new viewer, who knows. But
Yeah.
I think that's why it was replayed so much, is just because it's so easy to kind of sprinkle in there.
Now, Rapunzel does bring up a good point, and if you had gone through what they had gone through, I'd be a little mad too. Probably haven't showered in a while.
I mean, maybe the Janes, but I think the Ganjin, they find a river. They'll find a puddle. If it's
I'm sure they
water,
have soap with them.
They're like
clean.
chinchillas.
They're
They just take sand baths.
They probably carry the water to take a bath.
Yeah. Hey, JJ, how's it going? Sorry, Brie, didn't mean to cut you.
No, you're fine. I have a question. Like, what nation do these tribes come from?
They live in the Northern Earth Kingdom.
I was gonna say, are they just Earth?
Yes.
Earth Kingdom?
But
okay.
If you look at like his robe, like the top of it is very swirly.
Yeah.
So people are kind of thinking that the original location of the Ganjin's tribe, at least, is on like the northern end of the Earth Kingdom. Did I lose you guys again?
No,
we got you.
We can still hear you.
You're good.
I swear.
Do you need a new pair of headphones?
Yes.
I need a new computer is my problem.
Oh.
Anyways, the swirls at the top of this dude's robe, people are kind of thinking that they're really close to one of the air temples. So either
that makes sense.
I guess either the western or the northern. But where the Great Divide is on the map, I think it's technically the western.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although they walked a long time, so who knows?
They did, but like they're on their way to Ba Sing Se. And so like if you look at the map where the Great Divide is, the Great Divide is kind of like to the south, I guess, west of Ba Sing Se. And like there's only like a little stretch of land that people would have to cross in order to get Ba Sing Se. So it's like this very small little land that they could be at. Yeah, so people are kind of thinking that, the Ganjin are kind of influenced by air nomads a bit. And then who knows what's up with the Janes. Like they serving up straight vibes. Straight looks.
Where's the picture? I know it's here.
I'm here for the howler monkey on the shoulder.
That's exactly what I was gonna point. It's like who just puts the head as a shoulder pad?
Hey, you know what? It's
like
surprise.
I interpret it as like the torso, like it's all just one pelt. Yeah. So it's like technically the bottom would be on the other shoulder, like the tail or whatever.
Yeah.
That thing better be thick, otherwise it would be lopsided.
No, I agree with you, Brie. That's totally what's up.
Now, Jacob, yeah, totally. I would not have pointed my finger and put out a vulnerable appendage in front of this person who could easily just slice it off. I actually, as a kid, was terrified of the Zhang.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, I don't. I was always the weakling, the scrawny little one. I got a little more meat on my bones because I like Oreos. But now, like, I would not be able to hold up in a fight. So that made me choose a side pretty quickly.
All right, cool.
With the ferret-looking man. Which one would you guys probably be a part of?
I have no idea.
I like to take a shower. I cannot.
Yeah.
I gotta go with I watched this episode twice, and the names of the tribes are escaping me.
It's Ganjin for the guy that's using his like point, and then it's Jane for the hog monkey pelt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ganjin here.
Probably a good call.
Yeah, so like I have a nice bark, but like I have no bite. So I'm probably going to be Ganjin as well.
Nice.
I'm more apt to talk myself out of a fight than actually throw fists.
This dude has quite a bit of bark too, so
yeah.
You see that hand on his hip?
He's more of a he's the Karen kind of bark.
Yeah.
Like the kind of, oh hey, look at this throws it to the sidewalk.
Instantly walks into the store and just looks for the manager. Nothing happened. They
Mhm.
just
Well,
want to know where the
he
target
kind of
is.
He's looking for the canyon guy.
Yeah.
It's like
Rapunzel, your theory of them being Karens is making too much
It's holding
sense
up.
now.
It's holding up.
true. The Zhangs might live in the tree houses or live. I could see them as like bolder people. Like they find a nice cave and are like, hey, Mother Nature did all the work. Let's go, guys.
I can see them living
Yeah.
in caves too. I like that idea.
Cave people. I vibe with it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we get the two sides combine, and I have to talk about the man in the white, the leader of the Ganjin. If I'm right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
Bree,
yeah.
I
Let me
feel
confuse
it too. He is actually voiced by a well-known Star Trek actor. Now, if I can finally pronounce his name correctly, which I don't think I can, it's Renee, who plays Odo in Deep Space Nine. Which is kind of mind-blowing. PJ actually from Orville Nation pointed it out. And I looked up and was like, oh my gosh, yes! And now that I go back and listen, I can't unhear Odo. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. So after this now, I will like the episode a little bit more just because he's in it. But I swear, these two, when they're just bickering nonstop and Aang has to be the adult, I'm like, done. I have to deal with this enough in middle school. I'm done.
Isn't Aang already the adult? He's the oldest one there.
True. He is 104 or 112. Why did I say
That's a
104?
I think
Yes.
I
can
mean, he
definitely
doesn't
feel
look a day over 104.
Exactly. Now, also, right after this screen grab, there's another one, and I think it touches on what you mentioned about the different animation style. They're slightly different. Not just in the flashbacks, but like in the episode, the characters are slightly shallower. So it's a nice little notice.
And then like also Sokka's like,
Hey, that's a
like,
great moment.
It's a great moment, don't get me wrong, but I was like, would that really happen in any other episode? Because it kind of just seemed it was very like isolated.
It is a very like one of the more anime things that happen. Like obviously we get a lot of anime moments in like season 3, Nightmares and Daydreams. Love that episode as well.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna see if it's the same animation company real quick.
Ooh, please do.
All right. I wonder if it is.
In the meantime, Rapunzel, Renee's favorite role of Renee's was Warehouse 13. I have not seen that.
I've watched a couple of episodes. Pretty good.
Yes. Aubergines? I know it's like a French. I
would say it looks French.
I just call him Renee. But yeah, unfortunately, he passed away here recently. There's like a stretch of time where a lot of Deep Space Nine people passed away, and it was just so sad. Yeah, I know. And then you see Shatner, and he's like freaking 90, and looks like he hasn't aged since he hit 60, and it's just like, what? But yes, it's always cool to see some of the higher up names that they get for the show. And let's see what it is. Noise reads Noir. So Aubergenois? Okay.
Hey.
My brother took France. My brother took French.
France. Oh my gosh, he took the whole country.
Wow, he seized.
Well, 2 years ago, we were traveling to France. My family decided to finally take a vacation, and my brother was the only one who spoke French. And so he was navigating us, and all the French people were like, oh, he speaks a decent French. And John's just like, I know up to high school junior year.
Hey, more than me.
Interesting. Hey, I got it. Pat on the back there.
Cool.
I feel like this episode was actually meant as a pat on the back for Aang. Just like, okay, we've shown that he's a competent bender. Let's show that he's a competent leader now. And that's the only reason I can think why they put it, like, other than the breaking up the intense episode, like why they put it where they put it.
I suppose, but like that was another point of why I really like this episode, is that it takes kind of a lot of the pressure of like him learning bending and him like fighting like this whole war, and it just kind of like makes the problem small. and then it makes the problem can't be solved by bending. So now he kind of has to work on more of those leadership skills and stuff like that. And so I think that's again another reason why I really like this episode, is because he solves the problem in a way that doesn't involve any fighting. Like he, words are escaping me again. I don't know.
It's that kind of day.
But a lot of people don't like the fact that like how he solves the crisis. Like he lies to them about, and they think that, all of that's really out of character for him. Like obviously Aang is against, killing people because he won't even kill the Fire Lord and everything like that. And someone was just like, why would he lie? Why would he do that? And I don't really think lying, obviously lying is wrong, but I don't really think that it's something that he's absolutely against, because this is also coming from a kid who 2 episodes ago said, I used to kind of look up to pirates.
So that's like the main argument I have, is like everybody's like, Aang would never lie. That's against his character. But like when you first meet him, he lies. And then like a few episodes later in Bato of the Water Tribe, he lies again.
Yeah, like obviously he home dude lies.
Mischief character. Like he's just a mischievous little being.
Exactly. And who's to say that like him telling this lie and solving the problem, he didn't really he ends up regretting kind of like the decision. Obviously he regrets lying to Sokka and Katara in Bato of the Water Tribe. But like who's to say that he doesn't regret this, and like maybe one mistake that he's made has also kind of like caused him to look for a better way to do it. And so in the final, when he's trying to decide how he's going to defeat Fire Lord Ozai, he does decide to go against what everybody else is saying. And he's like, I'm not going to do something wrong just because it's the easy way to solve a problem. I'm going to find my own solution. I'm going to do it right by me. So like, who's to say that this wasn't it? And also, he thinks outside the box here, which is exactly what he does when he defeats Fire Lord Ozai. So like, him lying again is not out of character.
No,
at all.
Aang's a sneaky one.
He is. Like, airbenders are mischief and
mischievous little beans. I mean, did you see him and Monkiatsu making up those little pies just to throw?
They freaking made pies to throw at people
or cakes. I don't know. I still really want to eat one of those, though. Those look delicious.
We should do like a baking episode where we try and recreate some of the food in this, because it looks
there is a cookbook for Avatar that's gonna like be released like at the end of August, and I'm just like, I need it. I found it a couple of months ago, and you can like pre-order it.
Is there a recipe about cabbage in there for a Rain Man Cabbage Man?
I hope there is. Oh my
gosh.
It's just to take the head of cabbage and you just destroy it.
Yeah. Just take a knife to it and then throw it in the garbage.
No, it's like fine. It's like ingredients you will need for this recipe: 1 cabbage and 1 rubber mallet.
1 hammer.
Look who's here, guys!
Hey!
Hello!
Hi, Katie. Hi, ladies.
Hey! Welcome! How's it going?
I'm late. Nice to meet you, Bree.
Yes,
we're not
Bree,
that far in.
The beginning of the episode.
We're 43 minutes into the stream, and we are 5 minutes into the episode.
Talking about?
We'll start to pick it. PJ, we need you to help us keep the pace up. No, it's all good, Bree. You already got a fan.
By the way, you got the pronunciation for Renee. Renee, I think it's Renee. You got it right. Like the last thing I heard, Aubergenois or something like that.
Aubergenois?
Yeah,
let's go with it. We'll go with Renee or Odo. Everyone will know what you mean. But yes, PJ, now that we're talking about this episode, what were your initial reactions watching it the first time?
All right. Before I say my initial reaction, did I hear you say you didn't like it? Or did I hear wrong?
There is a great divide going on between us right now.
Okay. I gotta say, I mean, there's like those little. This whole rivalry between them is kind of just, it's very infantile, but like it's common to see in these cartoons. I kind of like the episode, to be honest.
Ooh, we got a 2v2 match.
The man gets it.
Bree doesn't like it, or
no,
Brandi
I
doesn't
do.
Like it?
We
got a 1v3
Katie's the
match.
odd one out here.
Yeah, but like she has like the majority of the fandom behind her.
True.
That's
Yeah, I have the
true.
comment section. Ha.
Ooh.
And all the important
I'm
buttons.
kind of scared.
Which
Yes,
also,
this is true.
hopefully, yeah, I can play God around here. See this, Craig? See this,
Ooh.
PJ? Boom.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh no. Yeah.
But yes, we have. Oh no! Now I switched it in the wrong way. Okay.
You can
There we go.
yeah. Now, see, that's what I get for not. I get behind the. I get behind
There
the
you go.
comments for not liking the episode.
You're Mike Wazowski. But yes, hopefully we get done before midnight because I have to go to work at 1 a.m. because we have storms. Yay!
Okay, let's
Timon,
pick up, guys.
Timon
go.
definitely in on the same side. This chaotic man, I feel like he's the classic, I live off the grid, I collect my own water, let's go and fight death.
Yes. I love him. I love him.
Great.
my
But
favorite
I do
part of
just
this
want to say
That
his
mustache,
hat just
though.
looks like he took like a bundle of wheat and then just stuck it on his head.
Yes, he's like, this is my hat. It's the hat that I started with. It's the hat that I started with. It's the hat that I'm going to die
Yes,
with.
they say that he has the greatest mustache in all of the Avatar universe.
It wraps around his entire skull.
The list starts with this character and ends with Haru.
True. Yes.
Let's not start on that. We're too far in.
Okay,
Randy.
I'm
Don't start
sorry.
with
I'm
Haru.
sorry. We'll just
So-
move on.
Louise is in. She's fine with this episode. So I'm wondering who all else is watching, who likes or dislikes it. But we got this man, and he shows up, and he's just like, all right, everyone, we're going to head into the canyon. You better eat all your food now, because that could attract canyon critters or something like an old Western kid. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I think 1 minute is too short a time or 1 minute, 10 minutes too short a time to eat all this food that you have with you.
Well, he's like, all your food better be in your gut or in the trash.
Yeah.
He's like, let's go.
Just put
Chop,
it on
chop.
Appa? Just put the food on
I'm
Appa?
saying. Yes, because
Okay.
you put the elderly people and the sick people on Appa to fly them across. Have them take the food. What are they going to do? Now they're starving for no good reason.
Who's to say that they didn't take some of the food? Also, I think Appa has a weight limit, guys. Again, like one of the main thing is like, well, why didn't they all just take turns flying on Appa? The Great Divide's pretty big. Okay, it takes them like at least good, like maybe 2 days.
I thought they said.
And maybe it takes a day. I don't know. They spend the night in the canyon, nevertheless. But like Appa has a weight limit, so who knows how long it took him to fly over the Grand Canyon. Plus, he had way more people than what he's used to, so he has to rest up. I'm perfectly fine with them being like, oh, why didn't Appa get them out of the canyon when they got to the end, or like find them halfway? That's fine. I can listen to those arguments all day long. The argument that I can't stand is, why didn't they just take turns flying on Appa? Triggered.
Oh no.
Well, maybe it was just the that's the only way they could all learn their lesson if they went through this ordeal together, right?
Exactly.
Appa was like, y'all need to work together. We're just going to put you in a forced environment.
Appa's like, y'all need to work together because this is literally our whole episode, guys. So let's just get over it.
I kind of do wish that they cut to Appa and it's like all the sick and the elderly like bickering, and then you just hear this giant growl from Appa.
Yeah.
And then it's just silence the rest of the trip. They're just all like too afraid to like argue, and they're just like, no.
Oh, that would have been so good. Now I'm mad that wasn't in the episode.
Now I'm upset.
But instead, we get to meet or see Aang talk with another Earthbender who apparently does not wash his clothes or needs a wash or needs just new clothes. Poor man. That is one big pit hole. It's distracting. But what do you guys think about the reference here that he does about the earth spirits?
This is like the only time that we ever hear about the earth spirits. Like,
Yeah.
and what was interesting was that like as I was watching this, before he even said that it was like the canyon was made by earth spirits, I just thought, I kind of remembered him saying like this canyon was made by spirits. And so I was like, oh, I wonder if this canyon was made by Rava and Vatu when they were fighting. And then he was like, oh, the earth spirits made it. And I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
There goes that theory.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what an earth spirit looks like. This is the only mention we've ever heard of them. I really
It's the
wanted
only
the
one we ever
canyon.
do get.
Yeah. So
No,
Yeah,
I
cool.
like this crazy old man who's just like, it's the spirits.
Is it possibly just trying to spook everybody?
he could be.
Is that
Like,
true?
It could be.
because like the
Like,
moment, like he has a
He's-
great quote where like the canyon callers come back. He's like, they've had a taste and they want more.
Yeah.
It could just be a normal guide showing tourists and like exaggerating like
He could
the
definitely
area.
be.
So it could be that.
True.
Yeah, he's got
Although
this
I've-
whole. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No.
No, I was just gonna say he's got this whole like tour guide minor 49er
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
and you like somewhere in the Grand Canyon you would find it. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, there's
Like-
definitely a person out there that exists like this. Yeah, this could be an interesting backstory, showing how the spirit shaped the world. That'd be cool. And also, Graboids? I'm not familiar with that reference. What fandom are you referencing? I'm always looking to add more. But yeah, he's basically like, I hope you have your sacrifice, and for the spirits, it's just so
Yeah,
I
because
don't
like,
know,
because like,
kitschy.
yeah, it has like some rocks fall, and he's like, oh, I guess the spirits are still upset.
Yeah.
And then he just like turns around and is like, well, let's keep on walking.
Yep. And that turns
Completely
out to be
unfazed.
a total mistake, because then the canyon crawlers attack, which I'm trying to find my nice, beautiful HD picture of a canyon crawler that I can pull up. But this thing's like a mosquito mixed with a spider. It's the worst of the animal kingdom. Like,
It's a spider and a
It really
crocodile.
is.
is it?
It's a spider and a crocodile. That's what it is.
I mean, it's still the worst of the animal kingdom. Any way you slice it.
Oh. Then, yeah,
Uh,
Drew, that is terrible. Oof. But yes, so this poor man, he's just chilling with this with a group, and then this crocodile spider, which canyon crawler rhymes much better than crocodile spider, I'll give him that. It just comes up and just wrecks him.
It sure does.
Which that I felt kind of bad for him. The poor old man's just like, I just wanted to make it
Like-
across the canyon.
There goes his whole livelihood. Like, this guy is out for a couple months, guys.
But the thing that confused me about this is he's like, I can't bend without my arms.
Okay, here's the next thing.
Boomy did.
I think, Brandi, we might be on the same track. We might be on the same track, and that's
Okay.
terrifying.
Hey, you know what? We're here. The reason why he can't earthbend without his arms is because he literally doesn't know how. He doesn't say all earthbenders can't bend without their arms. He's just like, I can't bend without my arms. So Boomy is obviously a very powerful bender, and like, he can bend stuff with his mind. Like, wow, okay, obviously that takes time to do, or maybe this guy just isn't as a
I actually have an
powerful bender.
argument
Go
of
ahead.
another person that we see that bends with their head or their face. I would make the argument that the hippo in The Blind Bandit crushes the rock in the arena with his head, so he can also earthbend with his head.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
like
clearly it's not, you don't have to be a powerful bender to do it. I think he needs to stop being a little baby and start earthbending with his legs or his face.
I'm just saying, I think the way that he was trained how to do the earthbending is just like a very like simple method of, you use these stances, you use this motion. And so for him, he just never learned how to do any of that. So like the hippo, maybe he learned that as a way to scare his opponent, or he was just like, wow, the crowd's really gonna like
But
this. Boom.
In the intro sequence, isn't the earthbender mainly doing all of the movement with their legs? So
Yes.
wouldn't learning some leg bending type like thing be like part of like the basic training?
Yeah, but like I think that motion is like him stomping a rock out of the ground, and then he uses his arms to push it. And so like the kind of bending that they need to get out of the canyon, he either needs to like make a platform and then move it up the wall, which would be a motion with his arms, or it would be to make a new
his face.
like staircase, or like who knows. All I'm saying is that this guy obviously should have learned how to do it. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I'm just saying like he just physically doesn't know how to do it because he's bad at his job. Like that's
I also have another thing that could have possibly gotten them out of this canyon.
Oh, okay.
A giant air funnel, like what he did in prison. You just load the people in and you shoot them up.
I like that.
I like that idea.
Katie knows about that.
I love that idea. Oh my gosh, that would be. I'd be game for that.
We get to see probably one of the like best airbending moves ever. Just like him making this funnel and like everybody just dropping in, not knowing their fate as to once they get up that canyon wall.
Or he uses like his glider to like make a gust of wind and just like shoots them up just high enough to where like they land perfectly on the edge or something like that. Like I can see a lot of different ways that they get out with Aang's bending.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that they get out of the
air
canyon,
scooter
I think...
rides, everybody just piggybacks on him and he just air
There you
scooters
go.
up.
Yeah, no. And I think like if the opportunity to use the canyon crawlers to get out of the canyon didn't present itself, then I think that like yes, Appa would have like showed up or Aang would have done any one of these things. But I think it was just like they have the whistle. Like obviously
They
like,
have the
true.
whistle.
use the whistle.
Clearly, Appa understands how to get simple tasks done of take these people here, unload them, come back. Just keep doing that, buddy. Because they're about like what, halfway through the canyon by now?
Oh,
no,
probably.
so like, this is when they like just walked down and this image is when they like first walk down and he like gets rid of the path to get out of the canyon, and then the crawler immediately like comes in, his arms are broken.
Okay.
So like they haven't gotten very far.
Also, I completely see what Timon is talking about from Charles. I just looked up the animal that is terrifying. I'll try and pull it up here. But so we get the guide's damaged. They get rid of the canyon crawler. Now you're left with the problem of, okay, the only semi-sane adult is now out of commission as far as the leadership capabilities.
Semi-sane? I don't even think sane.
I wouldn't put him
there
in that category. Like
Appa and Momo have more sanity than him.
Fair point.
They were fighting over a melon.
No. Sokka on Cactus Juice has more sanity than him.
Yeah,
he's got a few screws loose. But we get to see Aang finally step in and just be like, all right, guys, we're going to solve this problem. You go on the left, you go on the right, and we're going to make it through here. And everyone's just like, okay, well, he is the Avatar. I guess he probably knows what he's doing. I mean, just look at that little cinnamon bun. He's happy helping. But PJ already asked Bree and Brandi, but which tribe would you have gone with? The clean tribe or the scruffy meat tribe?
The which one were the Ganges?
The Ganges
are the clean ones, right?
Yeah.
And the other ones are called the what? The
Jains.
The Gangs, that's right. I would probably go with the Ganges, and not because I think they smoke pot all day, but yeah, they do.
They're too prim and proper. There's definitely some weed hiding in that belt. They gotta relax.
That one in the middle, though, she looks out of it.
There's some of them are too mellow, right? Like when they're just showing up late to the. To their appointment,
they had to hide the evidence.
just the scourge. Is it like this is our RBG what RBF face? I almost went Ruth Bader Ginsburg instead of Christine Fisher.
Timon says, "Katie, Google image ass blaster tremors, and you will see the reference."
I think. Let's see if I can pull this up. Side things, pop-ups. I don't know what's going on. Apparently, this is the monster which looks very similar. Why isn't it? Where are you? There you are. I swear, I'm going to get this down one day. Yep, that's terrifying.
What the heck?
Yep,
Yeah.
I think I'll take the canyon crawler, actually.
It took me a moment to figure out what was the front and what was the back.
It just kind of looked like a piece of chicken jerky.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so we get the division, and they literally divide in the Great Divide into their groups. And Aang's like, Katara, you go with the Brandi? Ganjin. And then Sokka, you go with the Zhang. And maybe find out why they don't like each other. And, you know, I feel like Aang could have maybe read a little bit more into the subtleties or not so subtleties of this group of men. Like, maybe we should just like swap, because I feel like they're going to take sides here, which they do end up doing. The story of this glowing orb and everything seals their fate.
And like he could have done that, but he also probably could have recognized that Katara is going to get along with the Ganjin way better than Sokka will, and vice versa
get
with Sokka.
Information out easier.
And so, like, he was just trying to, like, preserve what amount of peace that they are going to get. And so, yeah, like,
good point.
Maybe it would have made more sense, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, Katara, you go with these guys because you guys won't fight, and Sokka, you go over here because you won't fight, and then maybe we'll get through this alive.
We'll deal with the consequences later. But we finally get to see this glowing story that has just kept these tribes divided for 100 years, which 100 years, very convenient number there. And we talked about the different art styles.
Maybe the splitting of the tribe is what started the Fire Nation's attack.
Yeah, it's all related to this.
They started the war.
Oh my gosh. But like, so what did you guys think about the change in art style? Like, PJ?
There you go. The change in the art style? Oh.
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
I'm not sure what you mean. Where are you seeing that art style change?
When they're talking about the different types or the different sides of the story.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have the like typical Avatar clean style, and then this guy.
I thought there was good flair. I thought it was appropriate for the stories.
Yeah, definitely matched their tribe's personalities, I guess is the way to say it. A little rough and
I think it also just like kind of shows maybe like how they like perceive like the whole story and like maybe even the world. And I think that it like kind of just shows even more about the tribe. Like we had the Ganjin.
It's about perception.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like we had the Ganjin, and like their story is very like over the top, and it's like, oh, he was our hero, and this was our tribe's ritual, and yada, yada, yada. And then we just like have the Jane story where it's just like, yeah, he found it on the side of the road, found the orb. He like picked it up. He was just like trying to help. Like, no lie, just trying to help.
But
shows up, thrown in prison. Yeah.
I hate to ask this kind of spoiler question, but with Brandi, will we ever find out the real story, or is that we just get the made up story?
Yeah, so like we never know exactly what happened.
These characters never come back.
They stay away from this story forever.
But they actually do. You do hear about the tribes, the Ganjin and the Jains, in the Kyoshi novels. So it's very quick.
Really?
One of the characters, at least one of the main characters, is actually from the tribe Ganjin, and like he is like very like prim and proper.
Oh.
And then you, excuse me, we don't actually meet anybody from the Jain tribe in the Kyoshi books yet. I hope to, maybe. But there is like this one offliner where it was like the only person that showed up was like the Jains, and you know, like you can already tell that like even in the age of Kyoshi, these two tribes did not like each other. Like they weren't getting along. And so I think that is very interesting that this conflict is maybe what made the strife between the tribes so much more, but like it's obviously been going on for hundreds of years. Like they just do not like each other at all. and
They
we
got
never
some bad
really
blood.
they got some bad blood, and they never really know why. I think the reason why they don't like each other is because they're just like polar opposites, and that's like just one of the only reasons.
Rapunzel, did this actually inspire the chibi shorts?
We did get some good from this episode. We got the chibi shorts.
Perhaps
Okay.
That's amazing.
For anyone who isn't
Wow.
familiar, the chibi shorts are basically these miniature Avatar little snippets that they posted online, and I think they aired them a little bit on Nickelodeon. And it has the voice actors and everything. They're kind of cute. So if you look up Avatar chibis, there we go. You get a cool little extra bit of Avatar that you might not have known of.
Yeah.
But so we end up, they go through the divide most of the way. They get the separation. And then we get back and they combine once again. And Aang's like, so guys, what do you think? Can these guys work together? And they're like, I don't know, Aang. They wronged this and they wronged that. And it just keeps getting worse. And then these canyon critters attack again, which
I love how you
canyon
keep calling
crawlers.
them critters.
Honestly, it still works.
It still
I
works.
watched too much
Still
Crocodile Dundee. Like, check out these critters.
I think the tour guide already got to you.
Yeah. But we found out in the camps that they both snuck in food because they're like, well, the Zhangs probably brought in food, and so why shouldn't we bring in food? And the Zhangs were like, well, they probably thought that we brought in food, so they brought in food, so we'll bring in food. It's just like, children.
I like in that conversation of, well, they brought in food, so we did. Katara's like, oh my gosh, you brought in food? And Sokka's just like, give me that. I need that meat.
Yeah, he's just
He
like
didn't even
chowing down.
question it.
And the leader's
then
like,
the
you're
leader's
probably
like,
wondering why we brought in
yeah.
food. And he's like, not really. This
No,
is tasty.
I don't care. Just give it to me.
And what about the comment that I think it was Katara says, so if everybody's doing it, then it's okay. That seems
Yeah,
very-
exactly. I was like, oh, this is like the anti-drug, don't do drug. If your friends are doing it, you don't do it either.
Yeah,
I'm just
she
like,
got
oh, that's
peer
hilarious.
pressured hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, and it's pretty great that you see how prim and proper how they eat. They pull out the chopsticks and they're just like, yes, delicious. And then it's just like, rip. I think that's probably why I would be with the prim and proper tribes, because like I germaphobe all the way. I have to have the utensils or like really wash my hands, and so it's nice enough that we'd all be in the same tribe.
I think that's because we can all get along beautifully.
Yes.
By the way, Brie, congrats on your hair. It looks you were doing the Katara thing, right?
I
That's
figured
cool.
somebody had to. It was a sin against the fandom to at least not have one
You
episode
have-
with hair loopies.
You have the long enough hair for it too. Like PJ, I mean, you might be able to pull it off if you grow your hair out,
I think I'm the only one out on that one. You girls can do it though.
No.
Gotta get-
Nope.
Brandy, you
Brandy,
can pull it off,
rock a
Brandy.
Suki cut.
It's way.
You
it's
could
way
do
too-
Suki.
I'm pulling out. I'm doing Suki. I also kind of have like the Lin Bei fawn, or
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. That's what I'm doing. I'm repping the Legends of Korra here.
I'm just weird. But so we get to see this, and Aang finally discovers, I was starving for no reason. Do you think it ever crossed his mind that Katara and Sokka knew, and they might have, had food and not let him know?
I think that like if they had, Aang would have been like so upset that he would have just been like all the food and then just yeeted it out of the can. Right then and
Why
there.
couldn't you
Funnel
do that
comes
with
into
us,
play.
man?
Yeah. So
They send the food up first, and they build the safe pile of cushions for everybody to fall onto, and then it's just everybody in.
Yeah. And this is a good point, Rapunzel, that Aang's air blast alerted the canyon crawlers to the presence of the food. It probably spread the scent. So
yeah, but
So
at the same time, like
Aang
this,
doing now?
our boy is hangry. Like
hardcore hangry.
And custard tart.
Like,
Ace.
Look
Sack.
at him.
like
He's just, that's rage.
he's hangry. He once again has canyon. He probably misses Appa. And he's just like, why can't you guys work long enough just to like get out of this canyon? Like, I'm pretty sure that if they just like worked to get out of the canyon, and once they were out of it, and they started bickering again, Aang was just probably like, all right, have a good life. Catch you later. I ain't got to deal with you no more.
I imagine Kyoshi in the spirit world just like, okay, he's not going into the Avatar state, but I'm liking this, and just eating some popcorn like, hey, Roku, you see this?
Like, that's my boy!
Kyoshi almost came out.
Kyoshi, in PJ Kyoshi, you'll learn, always goes for violence in this.
Okay.
Not in a bad way. I agree with her kind of way.
Killed a man and said it with a smile that she killed a man.
All right,
pretty much sentenced Aang to
we
death.
obviously have opinions about Kyoshi, and again, I don't agree with you guys. But I'll save that for another episode.
Now, wait. So, just to be clear, is Kay the only one who did not like this?
I am.
Okay.
I think I am. But one of the reasons why is like it's just so. They're so. How do I word this? Petty. And it's like, come on, guys. You gotta, if your lives are really at stake, don't you think you would actually just want to get across the canyon and not even care about these stupid people that you've been angry at? Not even warring with, angry at. It's like, you haven't lived until you've eaten baked beans right from the can. Yeah.
I guess I haven't lived then.
If I get desperate enough. See, I like my baked beans like actually warmed up, and I can't start a fire in my apartment as my landlord has always told me. So I can't.
I like how your landlord just flat out and said that. Like I felt like it was a bit implied.
He probably got the vibe from Katie. It was like,
I showed up.
Fires.
When I was moving, I showed up with a scroll saw on one arm and a bag like of Dremel tools on the other. And he's just like, "Oh, you like to do some woodworking?" I was like, "Oh, I love it." And he's just like, "Okay, do you like wood burning?" I was like, "I'm gonna try." And he goes, "Don't burn this place. You can't have open. Just don't do anything bad." So
I forgot how intense you can be sometimes.
I am well aware of her intensity.
I forgot who I was talking to. My apology.
I mean, I've only heard secondhand stories of her intensity, and I feel like, Brandi, how could you forget? This is Katie.
Hi.
I'm just saying, like, it feels like it's implied. I don't. But
well,
I get it now.
You know who else was intense? These two guys,
they
which
sure
I think I got the order wrong a little bit. But like, you get to the end. You are about to escape this awful life that you've left behind from the Fire Nation, and you just decide, I'm gonna kill them.
Well, Aang is like this entire time is like words won't solve, action will, or something, and so like he tells them, and they're just like, all right, yeah, you're right. This words won't solve anything, and they're just like, shink, sword.
No,
and then Aang's like, oh no, I forgot how literal they all are.
What have I done? Because this came out when I was headed towards middle school in my life. I hated middle school, and there were always these fights that would go on in the cafeteria. And it was always just like, they always tell us that we need to talk out our problems. No way. I'm just going to and pull out some hair and this. And I'm sitting in the corner with my jelly sandwich just like, oh my gosh, what a nightmare. Like, that's why I think I don't like this episode so much, is I saw so many comparisons to middle school and the people that I hate.
Katie, were the fights girls in your school, or were they more mostly boys?
Oh, it was the girls, because there were two rival cliques, both of which hated me, by the way. That was pretty fun. But there was this one fight I specifically remember because I chose a side and I was cheering along with everyone else. And the girl just grabbed this girl's ponytail and like anime moved her, grabbed her, and flung her to the ground. And it was just like,
oh my God.
It was, we had an awful school. But it reminded me of these fights. They're just so petty. Like, you could get on with your life without ever seeing this person ever again. But they had to go and start a fight. And then Katara tries to come up and end it with her little water whip, which we finally get to see again. And
she's been using it quite a lot.
Well, has it been as close up? Like, it's been more like the fast action. This one's like, you can actually see the movement.
True.
Again, this
Also-
might just come down to the different animation studios that did it.
I just started teaching elementary. This line backfired on me more than a few times.
Oh no.
Ah, yes. Going with the actions, Rapunzel. No baked bean cans around here, Timon. It's fine. You know what? I might go out to the store and get some baked beans after this. I've been inspired, Jacob. Now, PJ, I think we talked about it before, and Bree, I want to get your take on this. What kind of a bender would you guys be? Because, Brandi, you said earth.
Sure did.
I said water because, cloud bending. But you guys, what about your elements?
I want to say fire because
I knew you were going to say that.
I just always want to have a
Really?
heat element with me because I get very cold and it's like, boom, fireplace has started. Or if you want to heat up your snacks, just hold out your hands. It's a little hot pot. But Brandi will contest to this. I would be a waterbender.
Yeah.
It suits my personality a little bit better than fire.
I mean, obviously, you forget like how you act in the morning.
I mean, that's where the bloodbending comes in, Brandi.
Oh, this stream is going in
I
that
guess.
direction, huh?
Yeah.
But no, I also did always growing up thought it would be just so cool to be a healing waterbender and just heal people. Like, oh, you got a burn? Let me heal you. You got a paper cut? Let me throw
So
some
sweet.
magic water on that for you. And I've always like sympathized with Katara in being a very emotional character and trying to put like basically being the mom of the group, trying to put others
Yeah.
before. So I always enjoyed Katara. It was like, you know what? I want to waterbend. I want to waterbend.
Hence the hair loopies.
Nice.
Hence the hair loop.
And now, PJ, before you respond, you also have the chance for a sword and fan being a non-bender. Or you could go Timon's route and do the bloodbender, which, okay, we got that kind of an audience tonight.
Okay. I think last week you asked me, and I said water, and I would still go with water.
All right.
I'd still
We
go with
almost
water.
got all the
Yeah.
nations.
We will find our fire and air eventually.
Very heavily water, apparently.
Yes. I mean, they're cool. They're cool. She can
That's
just
all right.
do this move. And, like, if
But
you
wait.
spill on your shirt, you can just pull it out.
I know, but like throwing rocks, guys.
Is one better than the other?
I don't think so.
There are arguments.
I
But I
would
don't
say air because of how dangerous it is. And like Brandi said in the air temple where Gyatso just like sucked all the air out of the room and it's like a very double-ended sword kind of thing, but like most everybody's like, you know what, we're gonna use this for good. We're not gonna just suffocate people.
Yeah. Honestly,
So I
think that's why the Fire Nation went after them first, is because they realized, oh crap, they can just suffocate us.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously seen like Aang is able to fight like almost whole armies by himself, and I mean, some people say that like, oh, well, that's just because like nobody spawned an airbender in 100 years, but I think that also is just like how powerful and versatile airbending can be in a fight. But I think that we've talked about this in a previous podcast where we kind of decided that earthbending was maybe possibly like the most versatile because you can do lava bending, you can do
You build
metal
houses.
bending. You can make you build houses. There's questions on if you could take rock and turn them into like precious gemstones because of applying so much pressure and yada 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 yada. So, I mean, I don't think that there is one that's better than the other. I think that they all have their strengths and weaknesses. But I can kind of see where Bree is coming from, where it's just like maybe air is the most dangerous in a fight or the most useful in a fight.
And Rapunzel brings up a good point too, is you have to have the personality too. Like, if you get a megalomaniac who has bending, I'm pretty sure they'll make everyone pay for that.
Wasn't his name Zahir?
Ah, yes, I believe it was. Shade. PJ, if you watch Legend of Korra, you will figure out all these references.
Okay.
But so the canyon crawlers come back after what was a nice side tangent. We bring it back around. And I don't know why. I enjoyed this scene. I might have been a little unstable as a child, but I'm just like, get him. As long as the gang isn't hurt, I'm fine. We lose a couple of these people, go for it. And I regret that decision. I watched it again, and I was a little more merciful.
Do we actually see people die in this cartoon, or not? They don't really show it.
Nickelodeon wouldn't let them.
They were going to.
We've heard about people dying, but we don't actually see people dying, right?
No, we either see them alive and about to die, or dead already and decomposed.
Yeah. Kind of interesting that that's where the line was drawn. Like, you can't actually show a character dying, but you can show like their skeleton.
Wasn't it because Jet was a kid and they didn't want to show a kid dying?
You're right.
True.
They didn't want to show an adolescent.
I think if it were like an adult or whatever, they would have been like, they would have greenlighted it. They would have been okay with it. But I think it was the fact that it was a kid. They were like, let's not do that.
Yeah. Also, this is a good point. I hadn't thought of this. Can bloodbenders actually activate the bending of other people and make them bend by using bloodbending?
That's an interesting thought.
PJ, you probably haven't seen the bloodbending.
I thought you guys were kidding about bloodbending.
Oh no, it's real.
It's real.
Freaking real.
I thought Timon in the chat wrote. I thought he was kidding, or she was kidding.
Nope.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yes, wait until the Puppet Master.
That's not until season 3.
It's a Halloween-esque episode, and it will make you lose sleep.
Wow.
So, like, the week that the Puppet Master aired, my cousins were over, and like we were like watching season 1 of Avatar like the whole day. I was like, oh, the new episode's coming out, do you want to watch it? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And then it's the Puppet Master episode, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry guys, like that's on me, and they were like, it's all right, it's still a cool show. But I'm like, yeah, but like, that came out of left field. I don't know. I don't know where that one came from.
PJ, we are definitely, you gotta watch through that one, and we will have a special segment for you for when you do, because I want to know your reaction to this.
I would, yeah. Let me ask you a question, Katie. If I would have watched as much as you guys, would I not like this episode?
I feel like maybe just because you'd understand more about how it fits so little into the story.
Okay.
Yeah, but like
that's the main argument that most people make.
So Bree can attest to this. Like, I am very strong. Like, if you don't have a good story, I don't like your show. But this is still one of my favorite episodes.
She's looking at UCW.
I'm looking at UCW. Supernatural. Yeah. But y'all are calling it out.
Oh, I will. Every day.
You guys are talking about the CW network, obviously.
Yeah.
Correct.
You guys, by the way, the three of you have to watch Mythic Quest if you haven't watched it. There's a character named CW in there.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
played by F. Murray Abraham. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Cool. No, you're good. I still really like this episode. But I also just like it that I think that it is so out of there. It is so kooky. It's not like anything else in the whole series.
It's more anime-y.
So like, why not just have it? Like, it's important. It's important. I still like it. So, but that is an interesting question, PJ. Would you still like it if you watched it as much?
See, I was thinking maybe we've corrupted Katie because last year, about a year and a half ago, she was all excited about Discovery and stuff, and she's heard of us complaining about it and complaining about all the other new Trek. And I don't know if we've had a bad influence on her. I'm sorry if we did.
I think you have. No, I will promote episodes and shows, like, even if people don't like them, I'll give them a chance. This episode could be erased from history and I would never look back.
Wow.
It's not that I hate it. It's so unnecessary.
It's not unnecessary.
I think the hatred just comes from like the fandom watching it when it came out, and then they hit like the internet boom, and then they were all like, I hate this, I don't like this, and it was kind of a very like hive mindy agreement of, we don't like this, let's dog on it, and it always played in the reruns, and let's complain about it.
So many reruns.
So I feel like I feel like just watching it like episode like you are, PJ, I don't like, even if you did watch like all of the seasons like by tomorrow, I feel like you would still probably really like this one because you haven't been a part of that like conversation on the internet, and you haven't had that seed planted in your brain that it is a bad episode
Gotcha.
and you don't like it. So I think that kind of plays into it, of just kind of being mindful of what others are saying online as well.
I'm surprised though. Katie's basically saying this is like Kurtzman Airbender. I mean, episode.
It's so, yeah.
That's surprised.
I'm not as big of a fan. It seems like a filler to me. I know, Brandi, it is a filler, but it has purpose.
I don't think it has as much purpose as the other fillers. I will say that.
Yeah.
I will give it this. This one is lacking in a lot of character development and yada, 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 yada. Yeah. But, like, it's still good, and I think it still shows, like, one of the high points for me for this episode is it shows Aang solving a conflict that isn't the Fire Nation. Like, this whole series has been, I gotta defeat the Fire Nation, we gotta do this, I have to restore balance to the 4 nations. And this is like a problem that maybe he would have faced if he wasn't in that iceberg. Like like the war never happened. This is like something that maybe he would have done on like the day-to-day kind of like little squabbles of that avatars, you know, put out. Because who's to say that, you know, if these 2 tribes were able to stay in like their homeland, that they wouldn't have started a war between each other, and then Aang would have had to deal with it, you know, that way. But like this is just like a tiny little conflict, and it's a little more like interpersonal conflict for him to face. And I think that that's why I like it so much when I'm an adult now. Like I liked it so much as a kid because it was funny and it was goofy, and now rewatching it I still like it for those reasons. But if you think about it, like it's a chance for Aang to do something that's not part of the Fire Nation and kind of like develop like those more interpersonal skills that an avatar needs.
Definitely. Also, quick question from Kai. Also, hi Kai, thanks for joining. OBL stands for Order of the Blue Lotus. It just makes it easier to see what the episode is when you look at the titles. So,
Kai also says it's for him. It's the least favorite in the fandom.
Really? Oh, right. Yeah, it definitely the fandom. Well, and also Brie, I think you brought up a good point. Like the online internet age, the show had been so good up to this point that maybe people were just looking for something to be like, hey, it's kind of bad. Yeah. So yeah, I think that could explain a little bit of the bad reviews. I'd love to hear what the creators think of it though. What do you guys think of this creative solution that Aang came up with?
I mean, Aang is always thinking on his feet, you know? Very creative solution. I definitely would not want to wrangle one of those things though. I would have been the person in the corner and just be like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Someone
I'm not even going to ride that thing. I'm just going to dig my hole in this canyon and die.
I mean, like in reality, you'd probably see somebody's arm getting taken off, but trying to put the bag over their mouth. But
oh yeah, just I missed. Oh,
but cartoon-wise, it was a good solution.
Yeah, and it also like gives them a solution for the 2 groups to finally come together and to show that they can set aside their differences to do a main goal. Like they completed a little side quest together, and I think it's beautiful.
Yes, they can finally get along, at least for a little bit. Although still, even when they get out, which I'm trying to frantically click. I don't know if you guys can hear my clicking. I'm just
Sure can.
Oh, great. Yeah, no, I violently click when I'm trying to find something. Where did it go?
I mean, is there any other way to do it?
I don't know where it's going. There isn't. Okay, yeah, okay, that checks out. I swear, PJ, I don't know how you do this on our streams. There it is. So you get out of the canyon, and they're just like, oh, great, we survived. How amazing. Let's just off each other. I mean, at this point, I just wanted to strangle them myself. Not myself. I'm not a split person just yet.
By the way, I do it when you're talking.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Like when other people are talking.
I should probably mute my mic so you can't hear the
click, click, click.
Or get a quiet no-click mouse. That might have to be a solution that I come up with. But what do you think of Aang's solution to them fighting? Like, PJ, did you actually think that this was a real story about how they just mixed up their storylines and actually they were brothers and they were twins and it was just a game? Like, do you think that was legit?
At first, not like at first it seemed a little just really out in left field. And then I thought, well, I don't have enough reference to the whole series to make a judgment call. And then it really fit in when he said he made it up.
What do you guys think of that creative lying?
So I kind of very remember clearly when I was a kid and watching it, and Aang being like, I knew them. They were actually twins, and blah blah blah. And then like the referee was a little panda, and I was like, okay, all right. And then he was like, you could call it luck, or you could call it lying. And I was like, Aang.
So are we saying little white lies are okay if it brings about a good result? Is that what they're teaching?
I think that was the moral of this episode.
I think I mean, yeah, you could say that, but like I think that the moral of an episode is more like to set aside your differences to work together. And then it's also just like for Aang, it's to think creatively. Because like throughout the whole episode, he's like, action, words won't solve it, action will. And like he kept doing that. And then at the end, he was like, okay, maybe action isn't going to help because they're just going to kill each other. And so he's like, he needs to think of another creative solution. And so I feel like this is literally the start of him thinking, sorry, PJ, this is going to be like a spoiler for the series, for the way that he solves the series. Because he doesn't use, he used action a little bit, but like he uses that creative thinking. He doesn't do what everybody expects him to do. He does something else to solve it. And so I feel like this is literally the start of that, of him being like, the world is going to expect the Avatar to do this certain way, but the Avatar has to ultimately make the decision of what is the correct way to do it. So it was a white lie. The best decision? Probably not, but at the same time, like he's 12, so I don't know.
True.
Man, some slack.
Now, I did not. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bree.
I was just gonna say, I think Katie mentioned it earlier. Like he was just so done with the tribes. He was just willing to do anything to make them stop.
He was like, "Y'all need to shut up."
I mean,
he was the only one who hadn't eaten.
Exactly. He was hangry. He was tired. I'm sure
he needed a Snickers.
Yes,
he was not himself.
Or the egg custard or egg cream tart or whatever it was. Because that looks so good.
Egg custard in that tart.
So the chibis, they're adorable. That little animation style. But we also have to mention Aang's wide eyes in this.
I love it.
This is the look I have when I get home from work and I see I have brownies. He's just
such a great little like animation cell. Like I think whoever drew that had to have just had the biggest smile on their face while they were doing it.
It's also just like a great moment because like he air blast, like this is when the two leaders of the tribes are fighting and he like air blasts them and then he sees all the food and like all this this action. Yes, I know I do it perfectly. Thank you very much.
I like the way you phrase that, Kai. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But like this action just like stops and he's just like, is that egg custard? Like, man's so hungry. He's withering away over there and they're just trying to kill each other and he's like, you guys have food the entire time.
Yeah. But
I mean, Momo offered him that bug to eat, so like
true,
the man said no to food himself.
Now, Kai does have a good point here. They were mad at each other for things about the past, which likely none of them lived through. Mm-hmm. So they're just living off of these stories that were told. And we see this in the real world too, where it's like, oh yeah, no, we don't like this group because of this and this and this, that they did this and this and this. It's like, maybe just go over and talk with them and see if they'll do it again. Bring a knife, make sure that you're protected, but see if they'll do it again. If they don't,
bring a knife.
change.
Bring a knife.
I mean, you can always just go with the scissors. That's a good option. I also have, let's see, I got an X-Acto knife. Got this one. How about this one?
Katie,
Bye, Katie, right now.
I this is my crafting desk. If you haven't noticed, I also have a nice stapler that I can just. Ooh, that's actually.
What is it? That line from Crocodile Dundee? That's not a knife.
That's not a knife.
She's gonna whip out this big.
Not gonna lie, I just shot a staple from this thing that's older than almost me, and it hit the computer with force.
It's got no safety features at all. I'm now entirely worried about you all over again.
Maybe Katie needs to be put in timeout for 2 short minutes.
Yeah, I'll start a war over it.
You can tell Kai is a science fiction author with some of the stuff he says sometimes. That's good.
Oh,
Say,
absolutely.
Kai's comment actually kind of got me thinking of, like, and Katie said, these people have probably, like, heard the story through so many retellings. Could it be possible that they have lost the true meaning behind the rivalry because of, like, folklore?
Girl, you getting into some fan theory.
And like, Aang kind of picked up on that, and he was just like, I'm just gonna tell them some garbage and hope it works.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just gonna tell them what they need to hear so that they can just like move on.
Yep, and also, can we point out at how smug Aang is once he tells them and reveals that it's actually a lie? Like, bro, he thinks he's so slick.
He is, and he thinks he's so slick because he's like, listen, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. You know I haven't had any food. Like, I thought of that on the fly, guys. And look, they out of our hair. Like, they gone. Like, we never got to see them again.
Alternate universe where Aang is just constantly evil and always pulls this
I was going to say, this is alternate universe where Aang is actually Azula.
Yeah. That's not a knife. This is a knife. These are actually the sharpest scissors you can find. They're $5 at Hobby Lobby.
Those are fabric scissors.
Yes, they are.
Those scissors
Those
make a
can
when you
cut
cut
you.
something.
Let's see if we got this. We got the.
I told you it made a.
Don't waste $5 scissors on paper. Paper's too cheap.
Katie, what does your T-shirt say?
Oh, it's Star Trek. It's the star date for the 50th anniversary. I'll see if I can actually.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that was a great 50th anniversary we had. They just like sued the biggest fan film, Axonar.
Oh,
that was great.
That was lovely. Such a wonderful way of them to celebrate the fandom.
Sorry, ladies. This is the way I poisoned Katie in the last year and a half. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm used to like her going on like Star Trek tangents.
So many tangents.
So it's cool.
Don't cut other things that'll make them dull. Yeah, good point. But we get to see Aang. Yes, Rapunzel, I have a feeling that you are a crafter. And so Aang finishes up the episode. He's like, you could call it lying, and they're just like, no way. And he's like, yeah, okay, now where's the food?
Katara's like, oh, that is so bad. Like, she's slightly attracted
Well,
to
she
it.
just got off that jet high.
This is
the bad
true.
boy.
This is true. Sokka's like, I couldn't care less. Let's find some more food.
Because he's probably hungry too, because he only got 1 leg of meat.
True. Which, if you've ever been to a county fair and had a turkey leg, like a drumstick, man alive, that'll feed a family of 4 for a week. Those things are huge. But we get to see the end of the episode. Aang's happy. The tribes are no longer fighting, and he has fulfilled his avatar duties. For now.
Of
Nice.
peacekeeping.
Wrapped in a bow. But that's what we have for the episode. I'm interested, though, to see our reactions to the lovely Brandi's fan theories, which she always brings and always is on point.
Aw, thanks, guys.
Before she gets started, I just want to say, on video evidence, the door theory makes way too much sense.
Okay.
And the
I can't
evil
take
monkey
full-
statue is her magnum opus.
That is the greatest theory.
That one still keeps me up at night sometimes. I'm like, man,
Listen,
Brandy's completely right.
I didn't come up with the door. I found that on like a TikTok or something. So
It's still a
I
very
can't
good
take
theory,
credit for
though.
that. It made way too much sense though. But that monkey statue, you know it was me.
I
want to make a video.
for Miyuki.
Oh,
Miyuki is next.
oh,
She's
I'm
been
gonna-
She's
hyping
the reason
that one
we're
up
doing
forever.
this.
I'm
She's been hyping it up
some
forever.
facts about
PJ,
Miyuki.
You are in store for some amazing fan theories about a cat and its war crimes.
Hey, it's just next week.
I'm all ears. I'm all ears,
PJ's
Brandi.
like, what did I just sign up for?
Oh, we'll
All
go
right.
for Brandi.
All right. I'm going to try and not take too much time here because I'm always like, this is such a great idea. Maybe I will start making videos so you guys can experience the full thought process that I go through. But this one is kind of something that I thought about, but like I've read about it on Reddit and a couple of other places, so I'm not going to take full credit for it. The idea is that it kind of like what Bree was saying earlier in the episode, where they've just kind of like, since this has been going on for 100 years, they've kind of like lost the original truth of the story. And so the theory is that they're both kind of right. Like they're both telling only like half the story. And so the idea is that the Jane's story is the one that is most close to the truth. So like the Jane story is Jin Wei was found on the path and Wei Jin found him, and Jin Wei was like, take this orb back to my tribe and, you know, well, leave me be, blah, blah, blah. And so Wei Jin, Wei Jin, who is a Jane, shows up in the, these names.
Just
shows up
the clean guy and dirty guy.
shows up in the Ganjin village, and they take one look at him, and like the idea that, you know, the Janes are thieves and they're dirty was already like submitted into their ideas of what these people were. And so they take one look at him and they're like, well, you know, Jin Wei wouldn't have never let you take in the orb. Like, no. So they're just like, you had to steal it. So they throw him in prison. They go to try to find Jin Wei, and like he's dead because of his injuries or whatever. So they're like, oh no, you murdered him. And so like they throw him in prison for 20 years, and at the 20 years he goes back to his tribe, tells them what's up, and then the Janes come up with their story. They kind of like believe him a little bit more. And like the idea behind this is like, well, if the Ganjin were telling the truth, why in the world would Wei Jin steal the orb and then go back? Like how would they know that the story? Like, how would they know the story? Is what a lot of people are saying. So that's why they're saying that they believe the Jane side of the story better. But like the reason why I don't really like this fan theory is that it makes the Ganjin the villains and the Janes kind of more the victims. So like obviously the Janes would be correct over the Ganjin, and I kind of like the idea that they're both in the wrong. And so my idea is that these stories are completely like fabricated. Like these didn't happen, and that throughout the generations they just kind of started to believe that Wei Jin and Jin Wei were actual people. And so my idea is that Wei Jin started out as an insult that the Ganjin called the Janes, because Wei Jin, according to several different sources, translates to like gold thief.
Really?
And, yeah. Whereas Jin Wei translates to literally nothing. Like I don't think there's a translation for it.
In what language?
The Ganjin, in Mandarin.
Mandarin,
okay. So I think the Ganjin started referencing people from the village of Jane as Wei Jins. And so the people of Jane were like, well, you gonna start calling us Wei Jins? Well, we'll just start calling you Jane Wins.
Yeah.
Like Qatar in the
like,
beginning without a
flip
good
it around.
comeback.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so I think that it just started out as an insult. And so for, a couple of years, they go back and forth. And whenever they're telling a story about a Jane, for instance, the Ganjins would be like, well, a Wei Jin did this, or a Wei Jin did that. And then the Janes would do the vice versa. Until somebody broke the orb used in the ritual. So a Ganjin accidentally breaks the orb, and they're like, oh no. So they get rid of the pieces because we do not see the orb at all. Like, the stories are kind of like the orb is missing, or they don't do this ritual anymore, or what have you. So something has happened to this orb. So I think that it broke. A Ganjin was like, well, and so they came up with this story of a Wei Jin stealing it and a Jen Wei kind of being the victim, and like the story gets passed around, and then the Janes hear it and they're like, whoa, we're gonna set the record straight. This is what happened. And the story gets passed on until the people kind of believe that Wei Jin and Jen Wei were real people, and this was a historical account of things and not just like a story that are told around the campfire. I think that's what happened.
This is such it makes sense with their middle school mentality that they're going to play a game of telephone with this.
It really does. But at the same time, this theory is making the Ganjin kind of like the original villains, because they're the one that started the rumor, and then the Janes just kind of like heard it afterwards. So like, I still don't like it. And so I was thinking about it, and I actually came up with another.
Oh my gosh.
Let's hear it.
Let's go.
I'm gonna try to not get into too detail because this one is a lot more detailed.
Oh my gosh.
So what's something that's interesting is that this conflict of like the orb and everything started 100 years ago. Do we know what else happened 100 years ago? The war.
They started the war.
And how long ago did the other airbender disappear?
100 years.
100 years.
So
okay.
yeah.
Correlation.
So, the idea is that several hundred years ago, this was once one tribe. Like there was no Ganjin and there was no Janes until the tribe started growing and they started having different values and ideals. So in order to keep the peace, they separate into two tribes, the Ganjin and the Janes. And the Ganjin take the east side of the land and the Janes take the west side of the land. And this ritual that they do signifies how the two tribes used to be one. And then one man from each tribe, a Wei Jin and a Jin Wei, take the journey from the west to the east gates and this orb. And it's supposed to like represent like this hope that maybe one day the tribe will be united and blah, 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 blah. So 100 years ago, the ritual is on. They're doing it. We have our Wei Jin and we have our Jin Wei. And they start out on this journey. And when they get close to the western gate, they come across the Fire Nation, who is getting ready to attack one of the air temples. Like I said, I'm kind of theorizing that their original land that they are living on is close to one of the air temples. And so, like, this Fire Nation, they like come across this Fire Nation army. Fire Nation is like, well, we don't want anybody to know that we're here, so they attack them. And then Jin Wei gets severely injured, and he tells Wei Jin to take the orb back to Ganjin and let them know what happened. And so he runs back to the village. Sadly, Jin Wei dies. And when he shows up to the village and there's nobody else and he has the orb, he tells them what happened. And Ganjin is like, we don't believe you at all. Throws him in prison. tries to figure out what happened to their Jin Wei. They can't find him. They're dead, whatever. And then the Jane hear that one of their people is in prison. So they're like, hey, what happened? And so the Ganjin tell them what happened. And they're like, well, we don't believe you. And at the end of the 20 years, when the guy is finally released from prison, he goes back to his people. He tells them what's happened. and they don't believe them because they're just like, well, why would the Fire Nation be here? I'm kind of banking on the fact that like they don't really know what's happened to the air nomads at this point. And so they just think that in 20 years in prison, the man's gone crazy. So then they come up with this story of, well, the Jinwei must have got hurt and you must have had to help and you went back and they didn't believe you and then you got thrown in prison. And then as the story gets passed down from generation to generation, they forgot the original meaning of what the ritual was. And they just kind of think that these two people were bigger than what they actually were and everything. And so they just have like these two dramatically different stories that kind of fit together. And the reason why I think that this is the way that it is because of the names of Jin Wei and Wei Jin. Like, why are they so similar? If they aren't twins, then what does it mean?
True.
Was this the same person? Maybe. Who knows? But that's the theory.
Same person, different outfits.
Yeah.
No, I like that because, you know, as time goes on, as it's proven throughout history, stories get bent and twisted and manipulated either to fit one side's narrative or just because people are stupid and we forget details. So
Exactly.
I think that could work. I don't know about the chat, but I think these theories could work.
I think that was it. I don't think I had any more.
Awesome.
Who knows?
Well, do you want to see the fan art for this episode?
Do I ever?
Great, because there is none.
Oh.
I did not find a single piece of fan art
That is
for this
so
episode.
sad.
Why does the internet gotta hate so much?
Really?
Rapunzel, if you're out there and you can make some fan art for this episode, I don't care what it looks like, we could claim the stake of the first fan art for the Great Divide. So
You like can't even find something that like remakes like the egg custard thing?
I can try.
I mean,
So sad.
I
Let's
guess
see,
we
egg.
could slap something in MS Paint real quick.
I just typed in egg custard Aang fan art. Okay, there's a redrawing of Aang.
There we go. That's all I need.
There we go. Okay, I just wasn't looking at the right thing because now there is one, and it's actually kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of cute.
That is so adorable.
That is cool.
I love that. I actually just found
That's cool.
one as
You did?
well.
I can share your screen.
I found it on my phone, so
Hold it up.
I was to say the camera's like really far
just-
away.
Here, you just send it to me and then I'll forward it to Katie.
I'm gonna send it to Brandi.
And in the meantime, I also have to point out that we
Honestly,
have
it's kind of MS Paint like levels of quality though.
I'm here for it though.
it'll work.
I like it.
If anyone is familiar with the YouTube creator who redoes make different recipes from TV shows, Binging with Babish, apparently he
Yes.
did
Love
one
that
with the
guy.
egg custard tart. I did not
Nice.
know that. We'll
He's
count
also
that as
done-
fan art.
He's
It
also
does,
done
yeah.
Fire Flakes.
He has.
Yeah.
Oh,
I kind of
well,
want to make
nice.
those now.
Rapunzel, I was uninspired this week. Kai, quite accurate though. Oh my goodness, PJ, I just saw your message. I am so sorry I missed it. You gotta head out. Thank you so much for being here.
I do have to head out, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to listen to the rest of you, your comments on the outside. But Brandi and Bree, nice to see you, and I hope to see you guys soon next week.
Heck yes.
Absolutely.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Hey,
Katie.
PJ. Thanks. And while I pull up this message, because my internet just seems to fail me, would you guys try egg custard?
I mean, we have a recipe, like a family recipe, and it is like a custard pie that is primarily egg.
Ooh.
So I feel like we've
I'm-
already had it. Brianna, on the other
I
hand,
can't
she
do it. I
doesn't
can't
like
do it. It's the texture, man. It's the texture.
Yeah?
Custard pie, everybody. Pretty certain it's just egg tart.
And this is coming from the woman that doesn't even like eggs, like to eat by themselves.
Yeah, I hate eggs. I can't eat eggs.
Really?
But I love that pie.
How can you not? Okay. See, I I do eggs any day of the week, so I think I would like it. Or it could be a plot twist, and I just wouldn't. But there we go. There's Lang thinking about it.
Can we
Momo
just talk about this Momo?
Momo hand.
That's so creepy. Why does he have alien fingers?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, that's a little alien-y.
Oh my goodness. Let's see.
I meant to. I don't know where I saw this. I don't know if it was like a comment somebody made or something, but like I've seen something where it was like, did Aang ever find that egg custard? And like the comment directly below that was, little did Aang know that egg custard was 3 weeks old.
Oh.
I think that's actually one of the Avatar extras.
Is it one of the? I couldn't remember.
It's one of the
somebody's
extras.
comment or if it was one of the
Okay.
Avatar extras.
It's one of the
I would
extras.
love it if
I
it
think it
was.
is too.
Oh my gosh, that's great. So what I'm getting from this is next week I need to cook one of these and try it before talking about one of the most intense episodes in season 1 of The Storm. Get some levity in the room.
I guess you can try. Yeah, definitely.
Well, that
But
is.
are you
It's
gonna
good to know
try-
that
You gonna
Oh,
try
go
the Babish recipe?
I might try the Babish recipe because I'm
gonna
a crap cook. I'm terrible.
I'm gonna have to compare his recipe to the recipe of our custard pie
Do
and see
it.
how different they are.
Heck
Because I'm picturing
yeah.
they're very similar.
Well, I'm
I'll
glad
say
that
you
every
could
single fan
probably-
art.
Rate how similar they are just by looking at the 2 recipes. Brandon
Yeah.
probably wouldn't even
Totally
need to taste them.
Nope.
Try the lychee juice too. I need to try that. Rapunzel sent me a link to you can actually get lychee juice from the lychee nuts,
Ooh,
which is
that sounds
I
delicious.
thought it
One
was
of
great.
the grocery stores where I live, they sell like lychee gummies. They're so good.
Ooh.
So good.
Also, I think Kai wins Avatar extras.
Nice use of the
All
egg
right.
pun.
The
You
dad
found our
joke-
humor. Welcome
the
to the
dad
group.
joke has been had. I think that's the end of the stream, everybody. Thank you so
I
much
think
for
that's-
joining.
Hey, we didn't even hit 2 hours, guys. We
Heck yeah.
are 4 seconds under. New personal
seconds.
best.
I think you meant 4 minutes.
Oh my word, that's
Still impressive.
I was helping our brother with a science experiment, and I had to keep calling out the seconds for him. So I've been looking at the stopwatch all
That's
evening.
okay. That's okay. I do time calculations like all day. And so when I try and make change, somebody will be like, oh, it's like $1.59. I'm like, oh, okay. So, I'll get like a penny back. And then they hand me back all this change. And I was like, no, it's 60 to $1. And then they just look at me and I'm like, I'm sorry, I work in broadcasting.
Yeah.
I do time calculations all day.
Oh my gosh, relatable. But thank you guys so much for being here. Brandi and Bree, you guys are the greatest. Bree, we have to have you back because this was great.
I would love to be back. I don't know if I can make it next week. I'm gonna be in town all day. So, but,
Whenever
like,
you're free, you're
ooh,
welcome.
I
oh,
purposely
You
said-
have to join us because you have to at least join us for the Blue Spirit because that's going to be the Yoki
for
episode.
sure. But I
Yes.
purposely
So-
said at work that I cannot work Wednesdays just so I can watch this live. I was
my
like,
gosh.
I can't come in on Wednesdays. You gotta let sorry, I'm available.
We're so sweet. See, Brandi, don't we have the greatest viewers?
We do, Katie. I hope I'm
Wrong
looking
You
way,
did the
right
wrong
at you.
direction.
Wrong way.
I
Brady
knew I was
Bunch it.
going to. I knew I was going to.
The only reason I got that right is because I do the green screen and everything's reversed.
Yeah. And
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I
Brady
work-
renders what's on the green screen. She doesn't.
I don't
deal
even
in
do it
green
live. I do it afterwards. We shoot it and then we take it back and I go back to an edit bay and
Sit in the cave. But also thank you, Rapunzel and Kai and everyone, Louise Egg Sparrow, for the congrats on hitting. We just hit 500 subs on this channel.
what?
So I mean, we got half the year's still have half the year. I think we could get 1,000 by Christmas, hopefully. So PJ definitely need to do a 500. I wish it was 500,000. It's just 500 at this point, but eventually, and we might do a special stream. That would be fun. Just sitting in a field, staring at clouds, just like, hey guys, how's it going? We could have Brandi like read a book in a calming ASMR manner.
Okay. I mean, obviously I have the voice, but we know that I can't read. I can't even read what I've written. So I have no hope of reading aloud something else.
Well, thank you guys for everything that you do. Brandi, especially for your fan theories, Bree for your hair loopies, and PJ for your virgin viewing. It's nice to have someone who hasn't seen the show before, so it's great. So, see, you were just getting ahead of yourself, PJ. We're gonna get to it eventually. Timon, thank you so much for being here and for being here for the first time. It's good to know that we're getting new people to join. So hopefully we'll see you again next time. Appreciate everyone in the comments and everyone who watched who might not be in the comments yet. But Timon, thank you for being here. Orville Nation, that's PJ's channel. Guys, go check it out. I do streams over there. He has a ton of great content and it's really, really fun. We got Kai, we got Louise Expero, we got Rapunzel, we got all of the people who have been watching this entire time. Jacob Archer Barton. I'm going to keep scrolling. I'm going to keep talking and stalling for time.
We did hit the 2-hour mark. At least on
we did it. We did it.
2-hour mark. Thank you, everyone. It was another great stream, and we'll be back next week talking about The Storm, which naturally is going to be one that I enjoy, just by the title.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
All right, guys. Bye.